Have you ever wondered how a person could be accused of murder when the evidence seems impossible to escape? Today, we are going to explain a Spanish mystery thriller called The Invisible Guest, also known as Contra Tiempo. The movie was released in 2016 and was directed by Oriol Paulo. It is a mystery, crime, and thriller movie with a runtime of around 1 hour and 46 minutes. The main character is Adrian Doria, played by Mario Casas. The movie has an IMDb rating of around 8 out of 10, and it is famous for its shocking twists and unexpected ending. So let's begin the story. The movie begins with Adrian Doria sitting in a beautiful apartment, but he is not relaxing. He is in serious trouble. Adrian is a wealthy and successful businessman. He has everything that many people dream of: money, success, and a comfortable life. But now he has been accused of murder. A young woman named Laura Vidal has been found dead, and Adrian is the main suspect. The most disturbing part is that Laura was found inside a locked hotel room. There appears to be no easy way for someone to enter or leave the room. Adrian insists that he did not kill her, but the police have evidence against him. His lawyer tells him that the situation is extremely serious. Adrian needs to explain exactly what happened, and that is where the real mystery begins. Adrian's lawyer is Virginia Goodman. She is an experienced lawyer, and she has very little time to prepare his defense. She tells Adrian that she needs the complete truth, not a story designed to make him look innocent. She needs to know what actually happened. At first, Adrian is reluctant, but eventually, he begins telling her everything. He explains that Laura was not just a stranger. He had been having an affair with her. Both Adrian and Laura were in relationships with other people. They tried to keep their relationship secret. But one day, their secret relationship led to a terrible accident. Adrian explains that he and Laura were driving through a rural area. Suddenly, their car collided with another vehicle. The other driver was a young man named Daniel Garrido. The accident is devastating. Daniel dies. Adrian and Laura are frightened. They know that if the truth comes out, their lives could be destroyed. Instead of immediately reporting everything, they make a terrible decision. They decide to hide what happened. This decision becomes the beginning of their nightmare. Adrian and Laura try to make the accident look different from what actually happened. They are worried about their relationships, their reputations, and their futures. But there is something they don't know. Daniel's parents are going to become very important to the story. Daniel's father, Tomas Garrido, cannot accept the death of his son. He wants answers. He wants to know what happened to Daniel. Meanwhile, Adrian and Laura continue with their lives. But their secret does not disappear. Instead, it follows them. Later, Adrian and Laura meet at a remote hotel. They are still trying to deal with the consequences of the accident. But something goes terribly wrong. Adrian wakes up inside the hotel room. Laura is dead. She has been murdered. The door is locked from the inside. There is no obvious way for anyone to have entered the room, and Adrian is standing right there. He becomes the obvious suspect. Adrian claims that someone attacked him and knocked him unconscious. When he woke up, Laura was already dead. But the police don't believe him. The evidence seems to point directly at him. Virginia listens carefully to Adrian's story, but she notices that some parts don't make sense. She keeps asking questions. Why were Adrian and Laura together? Why did they hide the accident? Who knew about their relationship? And most importantly, who could have killed Laura? Adrian gives her his version of events, but Virginia is not satisfied. She tells him that there are gaps in his story. Someone is lying, and she needs to discover who. Virginia begins examining the story from a different angle. She asks Adrian about the car accident. Adrian explains what happened after Daniel died, but Virginia notices something important. There are details that Adrian has not told her. The more she questions him, the more uncomfortable he becomes. It becomes clear that Adrian is not telling the whole truth. Virginia tells him that if he continues hiding information, she cannot help him. So Adrian reveals more. He explains that after the accident, he and Laura tried to cover up what happened. They thought they could escape the consequences. But Daniel's parents began searching for answers, and someone eventually discovered their secret. The story becomes even more complicated when Adrian explains how evidence connected to the accident disappeared. A witness appears. There are photographs. There are documents. There are strange details surrounding the car. Every time Adrian thinks he has explained everything, Virginia discovers another problem. The story keeps changing, and the viewer begins to wonder, is Adrian really innocent? Or is he carefully creating a story to save himself? Virginia continues questioning Adrian. She asks him to repeat certain events. She changes the order of her questions. She pays attention to small details. And slowly, Adrian starts making mistakes. Virginia realizes something very important. A person who is telling the truth usually remembers the important events naturally. But someone who has created a false story has to remember every detail. One small mistake can destroy the entire story. And Virginia is looking for exactly that mistake. As the story continues, we learn more about Laura. She is not simply a victim. She is also involved in the cover-up surrounding Daniel's death. She and Adrian both made choices that caused other people to suffer. Their attempt to protect themselves created more problems. And now Laura is dead. Adrian claims that he loved her, but Virginia keeps asking the same question. If he loved Laura, why would he kill her? Adrian insists that he didn't, but Virginia is still not convinced. Eventually, Virginia presents Adrian with another version of events. She explains how the murder could have happened. Adrian listens carefully, but then he notices that Virginia knows certain details that she shouldn't know. This makes him suspicious. Who is Virginia Goodman really? Why does she seem to know so much? And why is she pushing him so hard? The tension becomes stronger. Adrian begins to realize that this meeting may not be what he originally thought. Now the story reaches its most important part. Virginia's questions are actually designed to trap Adrian. She has been testing his story from the beginning. She knows that Adrian has been hiding something, and eventually, his lies begin to fall apart. The truth about Laura's death is connected to the earlier accident, but the biggest surprise is connected to Daniel's parents. Daniel's father, Tomas, has spent a long time trying to discover who was responsible for his son's death. He doesn't simply want revenge. He wants the truth, and he has been much closer to Adrian than Adrian realizes. Adrian finally understands that the person sitting across from him may not be who she claims to be. Virginia has carefully constructed the conversation to make him reveal information. Every question was intentional. Every detail mattered. And Adrian realizes that he has walked into a trap. The story he created to protect himself has become the very thing that exposes him. The people he thought he had fooled were actually investigating him from the beginning. The truth about Laura, Daniel, the accident, and the murder finally comes together. Adrian is not the innocent victim he wanted everyone to believe. He has lied, he has hidden evidence, and he has tried to protect himself at the cost of others. The ending shows us the main message of the movie. Adrian believed that money, intelligence, and a carefully prepared story could protect him, but he underestimated the people searching for the truth. The entire movie is built around one question. Can a person escape the consequences of their actions by hiding the truth? The answer is no. Adrian's biggest mistake was not simply the crime itself. It was believing that he could control the story forever. Every lie created another lie, and eventually, those lies became impossible to maintain. That is what makes The Invisible Guest such a fascinating mystery. The movie keeps making us question what is real and what is a lie. And when we finally understand the truth, many of the earlier scenes suddenly make sense. So that was the story of The Invisible Guest, a Spanish mystery thriller filled with secrets, deception, and unexpected twists. The movie shows us that sometimes the biggest enemy is not the person investigating you. It is the truth that you are trying to hide. Before we finish, let me clarify the biggest twist in the story. At the beginning, Adrian and Laura believed that Daniel had died in the car accident, but Daniel was actually still alive. Adrian then pushed Daniel's car into the lake, causing Daniel to drown. Later, Adrian killed Laura because he was afraid that she would reveal the truth about Daniel. And here is the biggest twist. The woman who called herself Virginia Goodman was actually Elvira Garrido, Daniel's mother. She pretended to be Adrian's lawyer because she wanted to make him reveal the truth. Adrian believed that she was helping him create a story to escape the murder charge, but he was actually walking into a carefully prepared trap. By the end, Adrian's own words expose him. So, Adrian was not an innocent man accused of murder. He was responsible for both Daniel's death and Laura's murder. And the woman he trusted as his lawyer was actually the person who came to uncover his secret. That is the shocking truth behind The Invisible Guest. If you enjoyed this movie explanation, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to LiftMind, and turn on the notification bell for more movies explained in simple English. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next movie.